Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The controversy surrounding their infamous interview with Oprah Winfrey, the queen of talk show TV,
What was that conversation?
about the royal family headed by the Queen.
Oh, really?
So let's take it back a little bit. Prince Harry was the lost black sheep of the royal family, with more unresolved mummy issues than his emotionally stable older brother Prince William. Had Prince Harry never met Meghan Markle, he would never have gone to Southern California via Vancouver. He would never have abdicated his position as a prince from the royal family, and he would never have done an interview with Oprah Winfrey covertly poo-pooing his royal family. What can we deduce from this scenario? It looks as if Prince Harry was love-bombed by an ambitious social climber, bringing her LA fake it to make it moxie into the equation. She saw a prince. She saw an opportunity to ensnarl a prince. And not only did she see this opportunity, she took full advantage of this opportunity. He said on a previous interview with James Corden, I believe, the relationship went from 0 to 60 like that.
We went from 0 to 60, like in the first 2 months.
That is indicative of a love bombing session. In other words, Meghan Markle love-bombed Prince Harry. She wanted to go full in straight away. She didn't want to take a chance with fate. She didn't want to say to herself, let me date this guy and we'll see where it goes. Maybe it'll go somewhere. Perhaps we're not compatible. No, she's not interested in finding out long-term wise if there's compatibility. He is a prince and she wants to inveigle the prince. In this quote-unquote explosive interview with these two seemingly unexplosive human beings, Meghan Markle alluded to the fact that she was feeling suicidal when it turned out life as a princess in the British royal family wasn't the fairy tale she'd envisioned it to be. First we've had the love bombing, now we see the description of suicidal thoughts. These are, exemplary of people with certain personality disorders, such as the borderline personality disorder. So I can't definitively say anything, but she seems like someone in that direction. My point is, if she had suicidal thoughts, that isn't necessarily because the royal family and life as one of the royals was so unbearably hideous and one long endurance of torture. It's her. You got to remember one thing. Nobody asked this woman to marry into a British royal family. If Prince Harry was just Harry and not Prince Harry, she wouldn't look twice at him.
That Meghan Markle, man, she's on some money shit.
A $100 million deal with Netflix.
Never mind if he worked in McDonald's. If he was a banker earning 100 grand a year, 150 grand a year, which to the masses is a good salary, but to the elite is pittance, she would not look twice at him. The abandonment issues. She's, separate. She's not speaking to her dad. One way or another, there's daddy issues there. She's got onto the royal family, married Prince Harry, and then her and Prince Harry both combined have abandoned the royal family. She has abandonment issues. Again, indicative of someone who is potentially suffering from borderline personality disorder. But anyway, I don't want to go too much down that psychological route. Generally with her legacy thus far is one of toxicity. She turns up, she gets married, she abandons the whole thing and starts pointing fingers at everyone. And then people are arguing amongst themselves and ranting at each other about who's more toxic than the other.
This very toxic race row which has exploded in the aftermath of the interview.
You trash me every time you come on, which is exactly the thing you accuse me of doing. If you've got something to say about the interview, say it.
Let me finish.
You're toxic, you're toxic, you're toxic.
You are a white privileged male who has no experience.
Look, with this racial stuff, yeah, you get racism across the board. And yes, we know, if you're from the UK, we know that the upper class Brits, if they're going to exhibit racism, it's more likely to be of the covert variety than of the overt variety. If Harry fell in love with you, or it got infatuated, the royal family, they might not have liked it, but they still embraced you with, to some extent, open arms. Even if behind the scenes in their own mind, they're thinking, well, it would have been better if he married an English rose. If these covert remarks were made, like, oh, I wonder how dark or light the baby's going to be. Let me tell you something, yeah? I'm from the UK. I'm born and bred in England. And I'm half English, half Iranian. I'm saying I know about the end of maybe the overt British racism and especially the covert racism. I've been called Paki, Jew boy, Greek bubble back in the 90s when it existed, right? But I've also been around the upper middle class English, not from multicultural environments, from other provinces, other more provincial parts of England. When it comes up that I have an Iranian mother and, you know, Iran's a Muslim country and this and that, comments have been made like, oh, it's Muslim in that country, isn't it? Yeah. It's interesting the way they treat their women. And you know, when they say it's interesting the way they treat their women, what do you mean interesting? That's not a particularly diplomatic way of saying you're a fucking backwards peasant. You know, you people cover up your women in black and eat your own feces. That's what they're really saying. But I'm like, people say these negative things regardless. One time I was chatting to a white dude from like outside of London, yeah. He's like, oh, you're half Iranian. Yeah. Well, that's like a mixed background. Do you know what a friend of mine told me about mixed backgrounds? I'm like, what? He told me it's like taking vanilla ice cream and mixing it with shit. Okay. And ethnic background is one way that people use meta communication to talk shit to each other. Like, you could be ginger like Prince Harry and someone will make a comment about, you know, you look like an orange, you look like a tangerine. This will be two white people. People always find reasons to shit on each other. Like, people gonna talk crap. I've been around these upper class English people when they make little comments, but life is brief. We're living on a rock in outer space with these carbon-based entities. We'll all be dead one day. To start crying about who said what. Look, it's not nice if one of the royal family said, oh, we don't want the kid to be that dark. But your whole legacy right now is about crying to the media and crying to Oprah Winfrey about somebody said my kid might be dark. Bro, you were embraced into the royal family. We're living like shit. We're living in this fucking COVID pandemic. We don't know what's going to happen next year, the year after, to the economy. We don't know what's going to happen in terms of this social media cultural narcissism, the way communal culture has died and online bullshit culture has taken over everything. And we're supposed to give a damn about your feelings being hurt when you're living in a mansion in Santa Barbara, all on the strength of marrying a ginger prince.
Ooh. Yeah.
You wanted to go back to your hometown of LA or just outside LA. Yeah, you're in Southern California. You use this place as a platform. You piss off to America. What she's done, let me tell you what she's done. She's opened up all the wounds of a modern 21st century multicultural Western society.
You are a white privileged male who has no experience.
She's a woman of color who understands the plight. Mate, she doesn't even look that black, yeah? She's mixed. Her mum's black, her dad's white. Her mum's already fair-skinned.
And I have to Google, is Meghan really black? She's very light-skinned. And she's 25% black.
She can pass, not for Nordic Scandinavian white, but she's almost white. She's a fair-skinned human being. So, you know, the racial thing, when it suits her, if it's a way to get the attention and the sympathy and be in front of the camera and say, poor me, look at me, look at me, look at me, then she's all about being a woman of color who's been, you know, racially suppressed and racially subjugated by this disgusting British royal family of Germanic stock, Mountbatten. You've married the whitest man in the universe, Prince Harry, with his, do you know what I'm saying? Like, balding ginger head. And his head looks like a ginger salad bowl, the way it symmetrically goes bald all around there.
If Meghan has been bullying him into getting hair transplants.
Hence, guys, why I shaved it off. Because trying to maintain hair when you have male pattern baldness is no type of maintenance whatsoever. I can tell you firsthand, right? But she's married the whitest salad bowl head of all time. And then wonders why it's not this kind of Lenny Kravitz Colours of Benetton advert life. That's like if I marry into a Nigerian family and there's certain things that are totally alien to what I'm used to, and someone starts saying, look at you, white boy, baby, and I'm supposed to get upset. Like, let me move on a bit from this racism thing and summarize her predicament, marrying Harry, leaving the country. It's like this. She married him. It wasn't the fairy tale she thought it would be. She's a spoiled millennial brat. When she discovered that being a princess wasn't just, you know, as Piers Morgan said,
if you can't be bothered to put the yards in on a wet Wednesday in Cleethorpes at the community centre, you don't get all the good stuff. It's not all about the Disney premieres.
The premieres and the glamour and the glitz and the pomp and the grandeur. It's on a Wednesday rainy afternoon going to the community centre in Carshalton. When she realised it was unglamorous stuff too, she thought, you know what? Scrap this. This ain't for me. I'm pissing off back to LA. This Megan's come over and she's got her American drama obsessed mindset of, oh my God, you know, like Princess Diana, like part and parcel of being a princess is all the drama. She done an interview with Martin Bashir. She was talking about how she felt suicidal. I want to do that too.
I am concerned for my mental welfare.
You start doing interviews less than 3 years after your wedding. You do interviews about how you felt suicidal. Back to Prince Harry. He's not Prince Harry anymore. So therefore, what leverage does he now have in the relationship with her? He's now expendable in ways in which he wasn't at the beginning when he was Prince Harry. Let me put it to you another way. If you've seen Superman 2, regardless of which edit, Superman falls madly in love with Lois Lane. Consequently, he's told by Marlon Brando,
"You cannot serve humanity by investing your time and emotion in one human being at the expense of the rest. The concepts are mutually exclusive."
If I no longer wish to serve humanity.
Is this how you repay their gratitude? By abandoning the weak, the defenseless, the needy for the sake of your selfish pursuits?
Selfish?
You're a Kryptonian, yeah? You're not even Clark Kent, never mind Superman. You're Kal-El.
If you will not be Kal-El, if you will live as one of them, love their kind as one of them, then it follows that you must become one of them.
Superman gave up being Superman for Lois Lane. And what happened?
I think maybe we ought to hire a bodyguard from now on.
I don't want a bodyguard. I want the man I fell in love with.
She doesn't give a damn about the fact that he sacrificed all his superpowers to be with her. She cares about the fact that the opportunity of being with a supernatural freak of nature Superman no longer exists. Therefore, my interest in Superman no longer exists because he's not Superman. Dating Clark Kent and dating Superman just isn't the same. Those of us that saw this scenario a year ago whenever and looked at it like, oh, Harry, what are you doing? Why are you giving up your position? Why are you giving up your position for this woman? We look at him like Brando looked at Superman in Superman 2.
Think, Kal-El. I beg you.
Father, I love her.
Brando, acting wise, in terms of his acting skill, is the greatest actor of all time. Like the way he just cuts her one look, like all this shit because of this silly self-centered woman. This Meghan Markle has the artist formerly known as Prince Harry by the balls. By the balls. She's negative, yeah? She's destructive.
Sorry, can't do this. I've got lots of other jobs.
She's already destroyed his relationship with his family. It might have been rocky, but she's come in and destroyed it.
My family literally cut me off financially.
Have you spoken to your brother since the interview?
No, I haven't spoken yet, but I will do.
Love bombing tendencies. You know, she's from Los Angeles.
She's an LA chick too, an actress. This is her biggest role.
And as my Egyptian buddy said last time,
Los Angeles is the BPD capital of the world.
There were red flags that he chose to ignore. So good luck to him.
She's going to need it.